Welcome back to the Hockenheimring, the season closer for the ADAC GT4 Germany. We've had 11 races. There is just one more race remaining in this 2025 season. Yesterday, we saw Rafael Rennhofer and Emil Heyerdahl score a win here, and in so doing, propelled themselves into the championship hunt by an absolute cat's whisker. They are 24 points behind the championship leaders, Enrico Ferder and J-Mo Hertling. Ferder and Hertling need 1 point in which to secure the championship, but it's Gogolok, Philip Gogolok, who starts on the front row with Oscar Christensen alongside. Rafael Rennhofer will start from third place. All the work to do. Linus Hahner had a tough day yesterday. Will start on row 2 of the grid. Row 3, former champion Hugo Sasser has Alon Gabay for company. And on row 4 of the grid, Tim Reiter lines up alongside Anton Abe. On row 5 of the grid, Maxi Schreier has Max Rozam. It's an all Porsche row 5. And on row 6, Julien Potillo and Enrico Ferder are the championship leaders, and all Mercedes AMG row 6. On row 7, Storm Yerdrum and Daniel Drexel line up alongside each other. On row 8, it's Benjamin Silvesterson and Andreas Jochimsen, and all BMW row 8. Row 9, Cedric Fuchs and Luca Link have each other for company. And on row 10, Gabriella Piana, former champion, and Axel Bengston line up alongside each other. On row 11 of the grid is Oscar Dix and Lawrence Ruhl. And then bringing up the rear of the grid, there is a row 12. It is Valentin Greven for FK Performance and Motorsport, guesting here along with Gianni van de Kratz here in the ADAC GT4 Germany, but I cannot see him out on track, so I'm not entirely sure whether that car is starting this race. So it is the championship decider. Enrico Ferder and J-Mo Hertling have 174 points. In second place is Rafael Rennhofer and Emil Heyerdahl with 150 points. There are 25 points for a win. Rennhofer and Heyerdahl are 24 points behind. What it means is that car there that you are looking at with Enrico Ferder at the wheel just needs to score 1 point from this race, and they will become the champions of the 7th season of the ADAC GT4 Germany. Rafael Rennhofer needs to get into the lead of the race along with his co-driver Emil Heyerdahl and hope for the worst for car number 11. It's out of their hands, but they had a really solid day yesterday. It was Rafael Rennhofer's second ever win in ADAC GT4 Germany. It was Emil Heyerdahl's first ever win. Taking the top step of the podium means they've got an additional 15 kilograms of success ballast on. They didn't have to carry that in qualifying, but they do have to carry it now. Philip Gogolok starts on pole position along with Hendrik Still, a potent combination. They're not in the hunt for the championship. They're fourth coming into this, but Philip Gogolok and Hendrik Still are looking to wrestle away third place in the championship from Gabriella Piana and Berke Besler. They're well placed to do that because, as you saw from the lineup at the start in the BMW, the blue, black and yellow BMW, Gabriella Piana lines up 3 rows from the back of the grid. We've had a second formation lap just to allow for slightly chilly autumnal temperatures here at the Hockenheimring, a circuit that is 4.574 kilometers around with 17 turns, 9 to the right and 8 to the left. We're riding with the championship leaders, arguably with one hand and maybe part of another hand on the trophy, but they still got to get that valuable point. Rafael Rennhofer needs to get to the front in the orange and white Wimmer Werk Porsche, needs to win the race, needs to hope that number 11 scores no points. But Philip Gogolok and Oscar Christensen, they want the top step of the podium, they want the trophies, and we get going, racing for the final time in 2025 ADAC GT4 Germany. Philip Gogolok steps off that pole position, leading Oscar Christensen. The two ADAC MX Motorsport Porsches running very much as one in towards the hairpin they come. We're on board with Enrico Federer. He will be tiptoeing very, very carefully. Cannot afford a non-finish, so out of turn 4, this is the parabolica, leads to that hairpin where they'll all pick up a slipstream, where they'll all get an opportunity. Look at Rafael Renhofer in that 3rd place. He's looking a little bit vulnerable to the car behind with Linus Hahn at the wheel. Into the hairpin they come. There's somebody going straight on. It might have been Storm Yerdrum. Going straight on at the hairpin, is able to rejoin, but has lost an awful lot of places. But tiptoeing around, Enrico Federer doesn't need to do anything heroic, but does need to finish this race, because if the orange and white Porsche in 3rd place wins this race, they will get the maximum 25 points. Gogolok, though, leads the way. He is confident and he is itching to get another win under his belt. It was a first ever pole position for Philip Gogolok. Seems like it was inevitable that was going to be coming. And Philip Gogolok, who's already won 3 times in ADAC GT4 Germany, looking to make it 4 here in the autumn sunshine here at the Hockenheimring. And at the start of that race, looks like Gabriele Piana has dropped back towards the back of the pack, so all not especially well with the FK Performance BMW. So out across the line we come. It's Philip Gogolok who leads the way. Then it's Oscar Christensen, Rafael Renhofer. In fact, I think it was another of the BMWs that had dropped back. The long shadows in the evening sunshine. The car's just crossing the line, so we get the confirmation of the positions they're in. There's Gogolok, broken clear of Christensen. Our timing screen sorts itself out. There is Rafael Renhofer in that 3rd place. Linus Hahn, Hugo Sasser, a 2-times former champion in the ADAC GT4 Germany. There's dust rising up behind, so Piana wasn't the car that dropped back. He's currently in 13th place, so making good progress from his starting position. Looking down at the hairpin, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and that 4th place coming under pressure. Hugo Sasser, whilst challenging Linus Hahn, leaving himself a bit vulnerable to Max Rosam. Rosam's made up 4 places at the start of this race. Maxi Schreier's had a tough time. It was Lawrence Rule, and it was the 24 car. So the 24 car, Valentin Greven, did make the start. So that was the car that I saw as in the identical livery to Gabriele Piana, and it was Greven who is in that 21st place. Here comes our race leader, Philip Gogolok, 1.322 last time. Keep an eye on Alon Gabay in 7th place, the Israeli driver, putting the pressure onto Hugo Sasser. The Porsches have been looking very strong here at the Hockenheimring. That is borne out by the fact that our 1st, 2nd and 3rd in this race at the moment. Linus Hahn, the leading non-Porsche in the BMW. Max Rosam in 5th place. Hugo Sasser in the Aston Martin in 6th. As we look down at turn 16 and 17, some great shots, and that is where the 32 car went, a Maxi Schreier on the exit of turn 17. And Enrico Federer, remember I said he needs to finish this race, needs to get that point, and it looks like it was a puncture that claimed Maxi Schreier, so Schreier's going to have to amble back to the pits and potentially may even just be ambling into retirement. So the race finished now. Dictated driver classification, Gogolok and Still. Well, Federer and Hertling come into this race with 174 points, and Gogolok and Still with 143. So Philip Gogolok and Hendrik Still not in the hunt for the overall title. 143 plus the 68 with 168 if they won this race. Give me a moment there. So there we go. The rest of the cars fighting for position further back. There is the 15th place Andreas Jochimsen with Axel Bengston having been shuffled down the order. Daniel Drexel would be there. Under braking, Luca Link never gives up, always charging forwards. So if the race finished as it is now, it would be an easy championship win for the number 11 car, but Luca Link has got a bit of damage on that BMW. making contact with Storm Jördrum in the number 4 car, sweeping off the rear quarter of that BMW, and that is trailing. And it may well be that the stewards might want to call that in because it's leaving debris on the track. So, oh, and there's a car that's off. It's the 17 of Anton Abbé. So the number 17 car was in 18th place, so it looks like he's had a moment as well for Pro Sport. The Aston Martin looks like he's able to rejoin. It's certainly in a safe place at the moment. That's up at turn 10, I think. So reversing the car, so maybe there's been an issue there, damage to the car. Meanwhile, at the front, Gogolok leads the way. The race finish now, it would be a clear win in the championship for Enrico Ferderer and J-Mo Hertling. At the moment, the 8th place would be more than enough, especially Rafael Renhofer and Emil Hardell's car in that 3rd place. Hugo Sasser has found a route past Max Rosam, so that will be for 5th place. Rosam relegated down to 6th. The incident involving Anton Abbé at turn 10 is under investigation. There is Hugo Sasser making his way past Max Rosam. Just behind is Alok Gabay, another of the Avia WNS Motorsport Porsches. The 3 cars absolutely glued together. Pro Sport Racing, Razun More Than Racing, Avia WNS, Alon Gabay to the outside into turn 8, drops back behind. Hugo Sasser in the 6th place. A lot of track limit warnings have been awarded. My timing screen has a whole list of drivers with track limit warnings. One of them is car number 1, received a track limit warning early on. Our race leader, Philip Gogolok, with a warning for exceeding track limits. And if he gets many more of those, he may well get a penalty, so he needs to keep it between the lines. We're looking again at that challenge from Hugo Sasser to the inside of Max Rosam for 5th place. Alon Gabay a little bit too far back to follow through at that point. Look at that, the 3 cars, that bump drafting they call it. There is the 19th place of Valentin Greven. Great to have Greven here on the grid of the ADAC GT4 Germany. The Dutch drivers raced in Dutch Supercar Challenge, is coached by one Mr. Max Oosten, a name who will be very familiar to those of you that have followed ADAC GT4 Germany for a number of years. At the moment, the 24 car looks identical to Gabriele Piana's and Berke Besler's car, currently circulating in 20th place. Here's our race leaders, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Remember, Rafael Renhofer needs to get into the lead of this race to stand any chance of taking the championship. It is a tall order as Max Rosam and Alon Gabay go wheel to wheel. It's Gabay challenging for that 6th place. On board with Enrico Ferderer. If the race finished now, 8th place would be more than enough to secure the championship for Enrico Ferderer and J-Mo Hertling. The battle for 6th place rages on now to the inside. Alon Gabay shuffles Max Rosam back another position, trying to get involved as well. Enrico Ferderer needs to keep it on the track though. Doesn't want to risk the championship, leaving it in control of somebody else. Still pushing hard. Enrico Ferderer has Benjamin Silvesterson for company. Ferderer in 8th place at the moment. The remnants of one of the billboards lies shattered at the side of the track as the sun is low in the sky. In the eyes of the drivers, the late afternoon sunshine here at the Hockenheimring. 48 minutes remaining of this, the final race of the season for the ADAC GT4 Germany. When the clock strikes 35, i.e. 25 minutes into the race, the pit window will open. It will be open for 10 minutes, and during that 10-minute window, every car will need to come in for a mandatory stop and driver change. There will be a minimum pit stop time of 95 seconds for all cars. They must not go below that minimum pit stop time, which is measured from the entry to the exit of the pits. The shadows are long in the autumn sunshine here at the Hockenheimring. Enrico Ferderer tiptoeing. He's got his eye on 7th place Max Rosam up ahead of him. Tell a racing driver to settle for 8th place. Good luck with that. Wants to push forwards. He's programmed to do that, to keep pushing forwards. At the moment, Gogolok has this under control. 1.3 seconds to the good of Oscar Christensen. Oscar Christensen, along with Lachlan Robinson, who took their first win at the Red Bull Ring last time we gathered. Hendrik Still and Philip Gogolok. Gogolok leading the way. They won race 1 at the Nürburgring. They won the other race at the Red Bull Ring. They're liking the taste of the champagne from the top step of the podium. You got a good view from up there as well. And they fancy having a third win together this season. Both Philip Gogolok and Hendrik Still, who really have proven to be a potent partnership. Would highly recommend checking out Philip Gogolok's Instagram and social media pages. Really entertaining stuff as well. These drivers know how to promote themselves as Enrico Federer continues to put the pressure onto Max Rozam for that 7th place. But tiptoeing as well, the championship will be in the back of their minds. The number 11 team, SR Motorsport by Schnitzelam. Schnitzelam with 2 cars on the grid, number 11 and number 12, but it's number 11 that leads the championship. Enrico Federer, J-Mo Hurtling in their debut season in ADAC GT4 Germany with the team, and there's a car heavily into the fence. That's the Razzoon More Than Racing Porsche. I believe that's Max Rozam heavily into the fence. This is going to bring out a red flag, I have no doubt about that. So big drama there. The car shattered and sending debris across the track on the exit of turn 2, I think it was. And there, with debris on the front of the 66 car as well. Certainly the safety car is out. We may well get a red flag here because that was a very big impact. A lot of bodywork out on the track. It always looks very dramatic when these cars make that kind of impact with the fence. They're made to fall apart, to dissipate the energy, and there comes the red flag. I had a feeling that might be the case, because there's going to be a bit of a cleanup operation. Yeah, the car is made to fall apart, to dissipate the energy, so it looks a lot more dramatic than it is. But clearly, we just want to be sure that Max Rozam is all okay in the number 10 car. So the crews will attend to that, and the race will be brought to a stop for the time being. So that's out, I believe, on the exit of turn 2 that happened, and fairly fast part of the circuit. The car collecting the barriers, the Tech Pro barriers and the tyre barriers are doing their job to, again, absorb and dissipate the energy. We're right on board with Enrico Federer at the moment, who will be brought back to the grid. So the safety car will lead the cars back. Of course, it's really important for the teams that they get all the debris off the track. It's important that the barriers are repaired, and of course, first and foremost, it's important that the driver is attended to make sure they're all okay. So Max Rozam will have just the crews, just making sure that he's all good. It'll probably take him a few moments just to regather himself after that, and here he is, out of the car. Best news of all, that was a big impact, and Max Rozam climbs from it. The accidents always look dramatic because the cars are meant to absorb, to dissipate the energy, absorb it into the bits that are falling off, so that the driver is protected within the cell of the car. And Porsche, they know how to build a car. Razzoon know how to prepare a car. And great to see Max Rozam walking away from that sizable accident. Max Rozam, who until now we've associated with a BMW, and he switched to Porsche this year and has looked so quick, along with Denny Byrne. Clearly Denny Byrne is not going to be getting a drive this afternoon. They took a win at the Sachsenring back in August. They also had another podium at the Norris Ring. Right, are we going to have a look here to see what happened, and was there contact? Yes, there was, from car number 11. So that was a fairly sizable impact, and everybody else scattering to not get involved. One of the ADAC Motorsport BMWs was also involved there as well. So we're on board with Enrico Federer, just tagging the back corner of that Porsche. That would have been a fair turnaround. Federer just throws his hands up in the air, and he will feel, potentially, he may decide that Rozam had moved across in front of him. Whichever way, the result was a sizable accident. Julia Potillo throwing the anchors out on that Mercedes to avoid getting involved. This is going to be spectacular from Gabriella Piana's wheels bouncing across. So all the safety features doing their job. We look in the background, you can see it there. The leaders had come through. But the driver enclosed in the safety cell, and that does exactly what it's meant to do, to protect the driver. But an awful lot of debris on the track, so it's going to take a moment or two to clear this up. There's the 66 car with a bit of additional advertising. Tim Reiter in 10th place dispatches the advertising at the next corner. So the red flags are flying, and we will wait until we get any news on that one and when there might be a restart to this race. But the best news of all, of course, Max Rozam out of the car. I think the car might take a little bit of rebuilding or dropping into a skip. But Max Rozam, he was second in the junior category in 2024, fourth overall. We've seen him in the BMW Cup in 2023. He started in the ADAC GT4 Germany back in 2022, actually. His best then was an 8th place and in a BMW then, but really has found his spot at Razoon more than racing, and that Porsche really suiting his driving style, and certainly not the way that he wanted to end the season. His co-driver, Denny Berndt, another one who came through the BMW M2 Cup. We saw him there in 2023. He was fourth in the GT4 Junior Championship last year. He won the season closer, of course, here at Hockenheim. He was also the winner of the 2025 GT Winter Series 6 Hour of Barcelona in the GT4 category as well. So Denny Berndt will be highly disappointed that he's not getting an opportunity to race here in the season closer. I should think Max Rozam, well, he'll be dispatched off to the medical centre for a routine checkup, but we could see as he got from the car, he's clearly all okay, and that is the best news of all. So, looking at the points while we are here, if the race finished now, it would be 25 points going the way of Philip Goglock and Hendrik Still as they look to move up the championship standings and to challenge. They can't challenge for the overall championship, but they were certainly, I was talking to Philip Goglock earlier, and looking potentially to relieve Gabriella Piana and Berke Besler of third in the standings. The car's back on the grid at the moment. I will let you know just as soon as I get any news on a potential restart time. So if things finished as they are now, it would be a 12th place for Gabriella Piana. The only driver that is not scoring points will be the number 4 car of Storm Jerdrum, along with Jan-Philipp Springop, and the 24 car Valentin Greven, along with Jani van der Kratz. They're not scoring points because they're guest drivers. So if the race finished now, the 8th place for Enrico Ferrer, JMO Hertling would give them 8 points. As we see the drivers just out of their cars at the moment. 3rd place for Raphael Renhofer and Emil Hardau would give them 16 points. So it would be, if the race finished as it is now, Philip Goglock and Hendrik Still would move up into 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship, just 14 points behind Enrico Ferrer and JMO Hertling. So if they can keep things going as they are now, of course, we've still got a long way to go in this race. The clock has stopped as a result of that red flag. We're just reaching the quarter distance in the race. But if things finish in the positions where they are now, it would be 2nd place for Philip Goglock and Hendrik Still. And Raphael Renhofer and Emil Heyerdahl would drop down to 3rd place in the drivers' standings. That Porsche is going to need a serious amount of attention. Fortunately, we've got plenty of time before we reconvene. We haven't had the dates for next year's ADAC GT4 Germany yet, but as has been the case for the last few years, We have tended to shadow the DTM package, and so would expect the ADAC GT4 Germany to potentially reconvene at the Red Bull Ring when the DTM package opens in April, but that's certainly just assumption as we look again at that accident, and that really was a sizable impact. Certainly nothing has been confirmed by the ADAC in terms of dates for next year. So this was looking at Enrico Ferderer, and he had that moment where he got into the back of the number 10 car, and then he's like, throws his hands up into the air. Clearly, he was frustrated by that, not nearly as frustrated as Max Rozam and Razou More Than Racing are going to be. The car heading to the scene of the crime, Max Rozam not really even having a chance to hit the brakes. The car flipping round, the back end making the impact, tearing the wheel off, and then a number of pirouettes across the track. Everybody scattering. We saw Julien Potelos standing on the anchors, throwing out the anchors, standing on the brakes, and a number of other cars. And of course, the concern for many of the drivers and cars behind will be, did they run over debris? Did they get any damage? And this is the moment where we're on the grid and the teams will be checking the cars over. That was the view from Ferderer again. Right, I've got confirmation. Further information will be at 5:20. It's currently just come up to 12 minutes past 5. So in 8 minutes' time, we hope to have news of a restart. The remaining cars are on the grid at the moment. The teams are there and they will be checking them out. The drivers are out of their cars mostly, able to get out of the car. The cars can't be worked on, but the drivers are able to get out, and the teams will be just looking over certainly the tyres, those that went through the debris. They'll be wanting to make sure they haven't picked up anything that might bring about a puncture. The obligatory gaffer tape comes out and the cars are stitched back together. Gabriel Piana made good progress up to 12th place, sharing with Berke Besler, the Turkish driver who will have witnessed his fellow compatriot, Turkish compatriot, Ayhan Güven, win the championship in the DTM in an extraordinary race this afternoon. Went the way of Ayhan Güven. If you haven't seen it, you need to see the replays. It was a spectacular race. We've also had Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany here today. That was wild as well, an insane race for them. And we've also had the ADAC GT Masters that was relatively quiet, but equally entertaining, where Salman Vega and Finn Wiebelhaus secured their championship. So the crew's just looking over the cars. There's Jan-Philipp Springhoff with the jacket on in the background, who is hoping to take over from Storm Gjerdrum when the pit stop happens. The teams are not allowed to work on the cars with the exception of any damage there might be. They can do repairs, but of course the cars are in parc fermé conditions, which means that there's a limit to what the teams can do. Clearly, if there's damage to the car or if there's a puncture, we don't normally have tyre changes, not unless there's a change in track conditions from wet to dry or dry to wet. We don't allow tyre changes, but if they've got a puncture, they are allowed to change the punctured tyre, but it has to be very closely regulated in accordance with the rules. Nice view inside an Aston Martin there. Great livery. And it's good to have the number 4 team, Cozy Racing by ESM, Eastside Motorsports. So good to have them back on the grid of GT4 Germany once again. And some great marketing there with the livery on that car. It's drawn lots of attention. But clearly the team's a little bit concerned about what might or might not have occurred on the front left of that car. They've got the wheel off. Springhoff is watching on. There is Storm Gjerdrum in the background. He's not old enough to start the season in ADAC GT4 Germany. He had his birthday in July and joined the season partway through at the Nürburgring. Instantly impressed. The younger brother of Emil Gjerdrum, a name familiar to those of you who've been watching GT4 Germany for the last couple of years and who watched GT Masters this year. The driver from Norway the family from Norway very, very quick. So the wheel goes back on, but great stuff there from Cozy and Eastside Motorsport. Car looks great. I mentioned just before we stopped the race that Philip Goglock had a really good social media. You've got to check out the social medias of many of these drivers. Another one, Tommy Rackle, his Instagram, always entertaining. Show your support to these drivers. Go and check them all out. They've all got Instagram accounts. They all need as much support as they can get. Really good young drivers who are climbing up the GT racing ladder. Some of them have come from the ADAC Tourenwagen Club, the Junior Cup, the VW Ups. That's where Storm Jerdrum has come from. In fact, he's been doing a dual campaign this year. And Storm also had a stint in a GT Masters at the Salzburg-Ring earlier this year. So he's really been stretching across the disciplines. But these drivers coming up through the ranks. I mean, there's a few veterans in there as well. It seems weird to call Hugo Sasser a veteran. The 5th place driver who has won twice 2 championships in ADAC GT Masters. He won in 22nd and in 22 and 23, became the only driver, along with his co-driver, Mike David Ortman, to have successfully defended a championship and to have won 2 championships in ADAC GT4 Germany. Had the pleasure of Mike David Ortman on the mic with me for the GT4 race at the Red Bull Ring. Do check that one out, the first race of the weekend. It was very educational indeed. But yes, Hugo Sasser, it seems funny to think of him as something of a veteran, but that's exactly what he is in this series, and really good to have him back this year. He had no intentions of racing at the beginning of this year. He said he was going to concentrate on other things, but then the temptation, along with Roman Feldegg, to jump in alongside him and do a bit of coaching at the same time, and that has proven to be a very successful combination. Gabriele Piana, of course, the only driver still to have started every single GT4 Germany race that there has ever been. A record that cannot be beaten. And Gabriele Piana, he started season 1. We're in season 7 at the moment, and he has started every single race. So this is race number 84 in the history of ADAC GT4 Germany, and this is race number 84 for Gabriele Piana. So great record that he's got there. Just looking, the incidents, well, we can always, you don't need me to tell you that the incident that brought about the stoppage is under investigation. It would appear that the demise of Anton Abbé, Julien Potelot, might have been involved in something that caused that to occur, because that has been reported to the stewards. May well get investigated at a later point, but I'll keep you updated on that. The time currently coming up to 18 minutes past. Gianni van der Kratz sharing the wheel of the car with, in the 24 car, Valentin Greven, the 2 Dutch drivers for FK Performance Motorsport. We are 1 minute and 20 seconds away from 20 past 5. 18 and 3/4 minutes past 5, if you will. Tell you what, there's been a big crowd here this weekend. Well over 102,000 people. I went over to the paddock at lunchtime and struggled to get back for the DTM race because of the gridlock of people moving around. An insane number of people who have been thoroughly entertained all weekend long for this, the season closer for everything remaining ADAC. Axel Bengston, who drives the BWT Motorsport Mercedes, along with Tobias Bieler-Clausen. And Tobias Bieler-Clausen, another one who's coming up through the ranks, 16 years old. Axel Bengston from Sweden, also coming up. They all started in karting, a few of them sim racers as well, as is necessary, as we look at the safety car. That at the moment is poised and ready for action. We're poised and ready for action because we're about to hit 20 past 5, and we should hopefully be getting an update of when this race is going to be restarted. The light is getting a little bit low here at the Hockenheimring for the season closer, so I hope we're going to be able to get on with it fairly soon. I've got one eye on the screen. The people up on the banking, looking down on this circuit. A lot of people staying on for this, the closing race of the season. A season that started with 4 wins for Enrico Federer and J-Mo Hertling. Back-to-back wins, looked like they were going to have the championship sewn up partway through the season. Then it was Philipp Gogolok and Henrik Still who broke the sequence with a win at the Nürburgring. Daniel Drexel, along with Luca Link at the time. Luca Link was driving a Porsche back in those days. They won the next race. No, they didn't. It was Gabriel Piana and Berke Besler. I got Luca Link's fans excited there. No, it was Piana and Besler who won the next race. There's Oscar Dix from East Sussex in the UK. Then round 4, Denny Byrne and Max Rosam won that first race. And then Besler and Piana won their second race of the season. And then it was a second race win. Oh, the lines have been burnt off in the pit lane. A lot of this left over from the DTM race, the pit boxes. Yes, it was Gogolok and Still who won the first race at the Red Bull Ring, their second race of the season. And then it was a win for Oscar Christensen and Lachlan Robinson at the Red Bull Ring last time out. And then yesterday we saw a debut win for Emil Heyerdahl and a first win of the season for Raphael Renhofer in the Wimmerwerk Motorsport Porsche at Cayman. Right, we've still had no further information on when we're going to get this going. So if you're sticking with us, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We are under red flag conditions after a sizable accident involving the championship leader. The number 11 car with Enrico Federer at the wheel made contact with the number 10 car, which had Max Rosam at the wheel. And the resulting impact certainly shortening the Porsche somewhat. The drivers look on. And it's meant that the barrier has been damaged. We've also got a lot of debris strewn across the track. And it's meant that a red flag has been shown to allow the necessary repairs to be done. The cars are brought back to the grid. And we're hoping to have some updates in a moment. There's 45.25 minutes that have gone. Right, estimated restart, 17:37. So that's 14 minutes from now. So we've got 14 minutes until we can get the race going. So cars are now going to be lined up in the order they were in at the stoppage. So it'll be Philipp Gogolok who will be put to the front of the queue. Of course, the gap that he had at the start wasn't particularly sizable, but it was certainly over a second. That will have been reduced. He gives us the thumbs up. We say hello to him. What a great helmet livery he's got on there as well. Our hats off to the hard-working crew, cleaning the track up, needing to make sure that all of the shards of carbon fibre have been removed and that the track is safe before we go racing. And then we will confirm the identity of the champions for 2025. It was Finn Zulaf and Josef Knopp who won the championship here last year. They also won the junior championship. And Finn Zulaf, who we've been watching in GT Masters this year, we saw him this afternoon. Max Kronberg won the trophy championship, and Avia WNS Motorsport won the team championship. And here, at the moment, Avia WNS Motorsport lead FK Performance by 70 points in the team standings. Looking solid to retain the team championship if things remain as they are. As a very excited fan. Great that the ADAC bringing lots of people in. They're encouraging families. We had a concert late last night. I'd like to tell you who it was, but I can't. Someone I'm told is a superstar in Germany. 2 concerts last night took place out in just behind the South Stand. A lot of people said it was a great concert. I went to bed. But it has a real family atmosphere here at the Hockenheimring. I've already said well over 100,000 people have been here this weekend, and they've enjoyed great racing. And the ADAC GT4 Germany in their 7th season never failed to disappoint. Coming into this weekend, it was very much rookies versus veterans. It was, the headline was Enrico Ferder, J-Mo Hertling, the rookies versus the veteran, Gabriele Piana, Berke Besler, who has won championships in other disciplines, including Prototype Cup Germany, has stepped into GT4, and they trying to take the battle to the young upstarts. But Ferderer and Hertling very much in control. But it is crazy, after those 4 wins at the beginning of the season, have not been able to get to the top step of the podium since, and in fact have only stood on the podium twice more since then, and that was for a couple of 3rd places, one at the Nürburgring and one at the Red Bull Ring. A non-finish at the Sachsenring, followed by a 7th place at the Sachsenring. Did not do their championship hopes any good at all, but they have continued just to score points. Apart from that Sachsenring, they've consistently scored points, and it is consistency that wins championships. And they lead the way, looking to win the championship on debut in ADAC GT4 Germany. And they follow in the footsteps of the aforementioned Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp, who won in 24, Hugo Sasser and Mike David Ortmann, who had the back-to-back wins in 23 and 22. In 2021, Gabriele Piana took the championship alongside Michael Schrei. Michael has been racing in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany this year, and has just sealed the Pro-Am title this weekend in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany, and has also announced his retirement from racing. Nikolai Moller-Madsen, along with Jan Kaspelik, won the championship in 2020, and Nikolai Moller-Madsen, now a driver coach at ADAC Motorsport. Whatever he's teaching Raphael Renhofer and Emil Heidal, he's doing a great job. And then the original champions, the first ever champions in GT4 Germany, was back in 2019, Mads Silshaug and Eike Angermeyer, as the 10-minute board is now given to the drivers to warn them that they now need to start thinking about getting back in the cars. You're going to have a comfort break, get on with it, because in a few moments the race is going to get going again. The clock currently at 45.25 minutes remaining. The pit window is due to open when the clock strikes 35. That is 25 minutes into the timed race. So we will see whether that time remains, or whether the race directors, with the light just starting to fade a little here, decide to shorten the race at all. I'll let you know if I get any news on that. But we're about 14 minutes, less than 14 minutes away from getting this race underway. To remind you, if the race finished now, Enrico Ferder and J-Mo Hertling would be confirmed as the champions of ADAC GT4 Germany, and they would be 14 points clear of Philip Gogelock and Hendrik Still, as was confirmed by the graphic that we saw many minutes ago. 3rd place in the championship would go to Raphael Renhofer and Emil Heidal, and 4th place would go to Gabriele Piana and Berke Besler. But we've got plenty of racing yet to come. The championship is not over yet. Raphael Renhofer, if he can get to the front along with Emil Heidal and win this race, and if Enrico Ferder along with J-Mo Hertling run into any kind of problems at all, then we could be in for the biggest upset in the history of this championship. It's a big if. It's a steep mountain to climb, certainly for Renhofer and Heidal, but the possibility is there, and we've got to get to the end of this race before we can officially announce any champions. Of course, they're all part of the Road to DTM pyramid. The winner of this championship receives funding to go into ADAC GT Masters next year. The winner of the Road to DTM in ADAC GT Masters, which has just been clinched by Finn Wiebelhaus this year, will receive funding to go into the DTM, the absolute pinnacle of GT3 racing, and a fierce and competitive field. This is where the drivers learn the ropes. This is where they learn all the skills and all the disciplines. At the moment, ADAC WNS Motorsport have the cars that are first and second in this race. The team that is headed up by Patrick Wagner and Daniel Schelas, two great guys who know how to prepare cars along with their teams and have taken many wins, including in that one there. And the reason that car has the #1 on it for ADAC and WNS Motorsport is because they won the team championship last year, as already mentioned, with Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp at the wheel. Oscar Christensen in that second place will want to put the pressure on Philip Gogelot. There'll be some awkward conversations if there's any contact between them. But Oscar Christensen, the driver from Denmark, has come from GT4 Europe in 2023, got a second place at Monza. 2024 was with Allied Racing. Raphael Renhofer, we saw him earlier this year in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany. He did threaten to make a second appearance in that, and it hasn't come to pass at the moment. But certainly, I think that is the route that he's looking to take, along with Emil Heyerdahl, his co-driver. And Emil Heyerdahl, who's graduated from karting to Formula STCC Nordic in 2017. He was the champion of that in 2018 and has come through the Scandinavian scene. Right, well, I can feel the ground vibrating, which is a good sign because it means the engines are running. The new pit stop window will be announced after the restart. So, okay, well, I think we might be a little bit ahead of schedule here because it was originally going to be a 17:37 start. There's a man there with a board in his hand. Oh, well, no, it's the 5-minute board going up. No, we've got the 30-second board. That's through us all, didn't it? Right, well, we're rolling. Safety car. Enough of this tittle-tattle from me. I'm so sorry you had to put up with that. Thank you for sticking with us. It's all part and parcel of the experience, the roller coaster that is ADAC GT4 Germany. Now, limber up. I'm doing my exercises in the box. We've got a championship to decide. So the clock starts running once again, and it's jumped down to 24.5 minutes. So because of the fading light, I think we also may have a curfew here at the Hockenheimring. But the clock, they've taken a bit of time off it, so we've got a shortened race here, which is why that orange one, he's never going to win a race, is he? He's cleaning the track. That's not even funny. And in towards turn 2, just cleaning the track, doing a great job. Yeah, so they've had to shorten the race. The light is fading fairly quickly here in the autumn. Not so much sunshine. I do believe that we do need a bit of radio silence as well. So that is why the pit window is up for grabs. So the teams are going to have to think on their feet here. Into the hairpin we come, behind the safety car. So this is the option now, the opportunity even for the drivers just to generate a little bit of heat into the tyres and into the brakes of their cars to make sure they've got grip and stopping power when we get up to racing speed. And there, great overtaking opportunity into turn 8 here at the Hockenheimring. Of course, this circuit famous for the Grand Prix. Formula 1 has featured here many times. Sadly, the original Hockenheim circuit doesn't exist, running through the trees. A real test of machinery that was, but this circuit is thoroughly entertaining. A great venue for the season closer. It was originally a triangular circuit, built in 1932. This design, Hermann Tilke, a circuit designer of some repute who redesigned it in 2002. The long straights were significantly shortened, but seating for 120,000 people, and that has been tested a little bit here this weekend. Certainly we had a lot of people coming through. A quarter-mile drag strip, you can see at the top of your picture there, the top of turns 16 and 17. Used as a drag strip as well. You'd think that would be really grippy, wouldn't you? Quite the opposite. There is zero traction there, so as a self-defining track limit, that is, the car goes out wide on turns 16 and 17. they are like, it's like they're on ice. You can barely stand up on it. So 16 and 17, you never see track limit warnings coming up there, but you often see them on turn 1, and we've had a fair few already, including, I would remind you, to our race leader. Right, safety car will be in on this lap. The new pit stop window will be from 17:37, so the pit window is going to open in 1 minute and 3/4 and will remain open for 10 minutes. So during that 10 minutes, everyone will need to come in for their mandatory stop and driver change. So it's a shortened stint for the drivers going first in the seat. So Goglock is going to want to stay out as late as possible. I expect he's got a clear track in front of him. Oscar Christensen will be looking to try and get the jump on him, to try and anticipate when Philip Goglock chooses to go, because in a moment the lights will go off on the safety car and Goglock will lift off and back off. At the moment we're looking back from the safety car at the race leader. Great shot there, but in a moment Goglock is going to disappear backwards in the distance because he's going to want to allow the safety car to get clear into the pits. As soon as the lights go off on the safety car, effectively control of the race is handed to Philip Goglock. It means he becomes the de facto safety car, and then he will decide when to go. The only rule is he mustn't overtake the safety car, and nobody must overtake until we get to the start-finish line. But Oscar Christensen will aim to be tucked up underneath the back bumper of Philip Goglock as they head across the start-finish line to potentially challenge into turn 1. That's a very big if, because Goglock has done a fair few of these restarts. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he has the option to go when he feels like it. They're into 14 and 15 at the moment. I reckon any second now you're going to hear the engine note rise. Goglock playing Russian roulette with the cars behind. He's still holding, he's holding, he's holding, and now he goes on to turn 16 and 17. So he's opened up a decent gap on Oscar Christensen. So Christensen not close enough to do anything about it at the moment. And Rafael Renhofer has anticipated it well. He has a look to the side of Oscar Christensen. So with 19 and 3/4 minutes remaining, we are racing for the final race of the season. ADAC GT4 Germany, Enrico Ferderer, J-Mo Hertling on the eve of a championship win if things remain as they are, but we've still got to hold it together for another 19.5 minutes. The cars, there's another one going straight on there. That's the 70 car. So that is Luca Link, who's had a moment, and looks like that car, now his tyres are all up on it, so there's smoke coming from it. So it's going to be a yellow flag in turn 2. That sounds like it may be a transmission issue of some sort. Now to the inside, Hugo Sasser doing a little bit of a move on Linus Harner. So that will be for 4th place into the hairpin. Harner also getting involved with Alon Gabet. So a lot of fighting for those positions. There's Sasser in the number 19 car, Harner in the 77 car. Alon Gabet with smoke coming from the ears, not deciding, not knowing which car to follow. At the moment, I'm going to suggest Hugo Sasser, because Sasser has got in front now. He challenges Linus Harner for that position. So Harner looking to get relegated a couple of positions here. Alon Gabet and Harner running side by side. Into the corner they come, but Harner has the faster line through the corner, so Gabet will have to yield. Meanwhile, the championship leader, Enrico Ferderer, is behind. So now suddenly, Alon Gabet has Enrico Ferderer occupying his mirrors. Rest of the cars challenging around the corner. They come. Still the track limit warnings come. Track limit warning to Enrico Ferderer. That could be critical at the end of play here. The yellow is still flying in turn 2 as a result of that car that is stationary there, the number 70 car. So hopefully they can get that to safety without us having to have any more cautions through this race. At the moment, Goglock has it under control, but the pit window is going to be opening in just a few moments. In fact, the pit window, I believe, is open any time soon. And then, right, well, there is the car that's stranded on the outside line. And I have a horrible feeling we're going to need some kind of caution to get that moved. So what happened to the 70 car just went straight on. That may well, because, of course, Luca Link was one of the cars that went through the debris and carnage of that accident at the start of the race, and it may well be a problem there. Right, into the pits comes the number 8 car, so the first to blink, and it is Julie Apostolo, who switches the seat with Alex Connor. The yellow still flows in turn 2. But Julio Potello has been thoroughly disappointed with this year. Struggled, that car has had an issue they've been trying to get on top of. The sister car there, the number 18 car, Axel Bengston at the wheel, relieving Storm Jerdrum of a position, but Jerdrum now coming back. So Jerdrum back up into that 12th position. So the fighting for the minor places. Nobody gives up in ADAC GT4 Germany. We've had Julio Potello who's come in to the pits, also the number 20 car. So Daniel Drexel getting ready to hand over to Mark Kastelik, the guesting driver from Slovenia here this weekend. Everybody else staying out at the moment. The light really is starting to fade. Right, there's another one peeling off into the pits. The ME Motorsport BMW is the next to peel off. The number 66 car, that's Tim Reiter at the wheel. So he will hand over to Philip Viskersen. So several cars are now choosing to come into the pits. The 91 car also coming in. So Oscar Dix is done for 2025. Igor Litvinenko will get one more stint at the wheel. That is the car that we confused with the Gabriele Piana car earlier. You can see why, can't you? It is Valentin Greven who will hand over to Gianni van der Krat. Great to have him back in the ADAC GT4 Germany for the closing round of the season. Oscar Christensen has just had a track limit warning, by the way, in turn 1. So the stewards still with plenty to be doing. Remember, there's a minimum pit stop time of 95 seconds. So that's why there's not a lot of frantic work going on at the moment. Plenty of time. Don't want to be making mistakes. You've got to make sure that everybody is in. You've got to make sure that all the safety devices are engaged. In the GT Masters, they didn't manage to secure a safety net on one of the cars, the Emil Jerdrum car, and they got disqualified from the race. The little net at the side of the drivers, it didn't connect properly. So these are heavily monitored and regulated pit stops. Safety is absolutely the highest priority. Meanwhile, out on track, Gogolok is leading the way. Right, well, this is good news for all because Luca Link's car, such a shame that Luca Link is not going to be able to get to the end of the race. But the good news is they're getting it to safety without having to bring out a safety car or a full course yellow. So top job there from our crews around the track. But Luca Link, not to the end of the season that he wanted. We've really enjoyed having him here in GT4 Germany this year. Right, more cars peeling off into the pits, including championship leader Enrico Federer. Storm Jerdrum is in to hand over to Jan-Philipp Springel, but this one is significant. So J-Mo Hertling will come sprinting out of the garage in just a few moments. In fact, he's there already. Seat insert in hand. The old seat insert is removed. Important to get this right. You do not want to pick up a penalty or a disqualification for getting something wrong. And you can do that with the pit stop sequence. So really important they take their time, get it right. And now J-Mo Hertling will prepare himself to bring that car home to a potential championship win. Track limits still coming in thick and fast. Alain Gabet has had another one, all at turn 1. Also, Hugo Sasser's had another one. Right, door closed. The aim will be to hit the exit line of the pits when the clock strikes 0, counting down from 95. You cannot just get into the pit lane and park it up and then go. Once you're into the fast lane, you've got to keep moving. So they have to back time this. They'll have rehearsed this. They'll have worked it all out. Under investigation, car 91. Igor Litvinenko's taken over from Oscar Dix, and that is potentially for going under the pit stop time. And if that is the case, there may well be a penalty incoming. Right, the number 11 car is moving. J-Mo Hertling at the wheel. Linus Harner's handed over to Tommy Rackle. So Harner's work is done for the day and in fact for the season. Linus Harner in the orange and black BMW. Right, here comes Philip Gogolok, our race leader. So Christensen takes over the lead of the race. Also coming in, Raphael Renhofer. So this is going to be significant in terms of the podium. Could even be significant in terms of the championship. So you can see the clock starting to tick down as soon as they cross the white line. Here comes Emil Heyerdahl. He will tear Raphael Renhofer from the car. Get out. There's no major hurry, though. Here comes Hendrik Still, along with Philip Gogolok, looking to secure that second place. So these two drivers very much up against each other in the hunt for second and third places in the championship, and a penalty lap has been awarded to Igor Litvinenko for going below the minimum pit stop time. A final warning for track limits has been given to car 23. So that's the car that is shared by Joseph Ellerine and Benjamin Silvesterson. It's Silvesterson at the moment. So there's a final warning there before a penalty will be incoming. There is Gogolok. His work is done. Make sure the door's shut. Tap on the roof. Good luck, mate, he says. I'm out of here. So he can go and relax, although there won't be much relaxing because he's going to be watching his teammate, a good friend, Henrik Still. Going to watch him to see if he can bring the car home. At the moment, Oscar Christensen leads the way from Hugo Sasser, but they are both yet to come into the pits, as is also the case for Alain Gabet. They've all yet to come in for their pit stop. J-Mo Hertling is back out on track, having taken over from Enrico Federer. Here comes Henrik Still. There's Emil Heidau just behind in the orange and white Porsche. The red P next to Litvinenko's name indicates he went below that minimum pit stop time and will have to drive through the penalty box on the exit of the hairpin at no more than 50 kilometers an hour. Other cars coming in now. The number 40 car is the next one in. It's Damon Suzushin, the driver who comes all the way from Canada in the Pro-Am category. He'll be taken over from Lawrence Wool. Right, in comes Oscar Christensen and Hugo Sasser at the same time. So Christensen, he's done for 2025. Lachlan Robinson, one more stint. Alain Gabet is about to hand over to Tommy Gore. I hear the whole world shout, Jamaica to the world, as Tommy Gore comes sprinting out from the garage. We say hello to the many, many people who are watching us in Jamaica. I know there's a lot of them shouting and screaming and cheering at their driver as Tommy Gore gets behind the wheel. Hugo Sasser is in as well, handing over to Roman Felder-Feldek. There's a BWT Muka Motorsport, Tobias Abila Clausen and Axel Bengston. They are making the switch. It will be Clausen at the wheel to bring the car home for the last time this season. With the pit window now closed, everybody who has or is pitting at the moment, our leading stopper is Henrik Still in the number 1 car. He's up at the Sachs Curva at the moment in turn 1. Emil Heidau is a fair way back. There is Litvinenko, who I've no doubt will assert his drive through the penalty box in the Vimmerwerk Motorsport Porsche. No, he's about to. The hazards flashing are indicating to the car behind that he's going to be slowing and that he's going to be going into the penalty box. I think he's done it already. I think he's just not turned his hazards off. Oh, there's a fire going there in the brakes of the Tommy Gore car. Fortunately, once it gets moving, that will extinguish it, so don't panic. Tommy Gore out of the pits, but that red P, there may well be an issue coming for Tommy Gore because he may have gone a fraction under the pit stop time. We'll keep an eye on that. I think the stewards are going to investigate that at the moment. Henrik Still holds on to the lead. Lachlan Robinson is into second place while all that's been going on. Roman Felder-Feldek up into third place, so he's made the jump on Emil Heidau, who's down into 4th place at the moment. Then Tommy Gore potentially under investigation. Into the pits once again is car 91, Igor Litvinenko, who's already taken over from Oscar Dix. The hazard lights are flashing. I think there's been a puncture, so yeah, it looks like it. So a fresh tyre goes on to the number 91 car. So their end of season has gone from bad to worse. The team are going to get to work on it. It's going to be basically a bit of a test session because they're down in 17th place at the moment. They're going to go a lap down as a result of this, probably. So certainly any chance of scoring any points are gone. I don't think they're particularly interested in that at the moment, so it's going to just be bringing it home. So we have confirmation that Tommy Gore is under investigation for going below the pit stop time. He's in 5th place at the moment, which would be a solid job if he could hold it together, but has J-Mo Hertling behind him. Things remain as they are now. 6th place for J-Mo Hertling, and Enrico Federer would give them a very clear championship lead and a championship win at the end of the season. And oh dear, a penalty lap for Tommy Gore for going below the pit stop time. It was just by a fraction, about 1/10 of a second, but it's enough to bring them the penalty. The rules are the rules. You cannot go below that minimum pit stop time. There is no tolerance on that Right, incident between 31 and 19 under investigation. That's second place Robinson and Roman Felder-Feldeg. So they're under investigation as well. 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining of the season. Tommy Gore ahead of JMO Hertling. Hertling's about to get promoted up into 5th place, because in a few moments we should see the hazard lights coming on the number 30 car, because Tommy Gore will have to serve that penalty nice and quickly. He cannot drag it out to try and open up a gap. You've got to do it straight away. So the penalty box will be on the exit of this hairpin here on the right-hand side. There goes Tommy Gore. Hazard lights flashing. That's going to sting, isn't it? Now he's going to have to get onto the accelerator quickly as possible. Jumps in front of Berke Besler. So that'll be something like 9th place. So Tommy Gore just in front of him, just behind Besler is Philip Viskersen. Alex Connor, who's taken over from Julien Potelot, just behind them as well. So penalty incoming. We had the final warning to the 23 car. So now Joseph Ellerine has got a penalty lap as well for exceeding track limits. There's a final warning being given to car 21 as well, which is Berke Besler. Besler at the moment is in this scrap, and he's got a final warning on track limits. He cannot afford to go off too wide, because he could pick up a penalty. There's Philip Viskersen in the background, monstering him, trying to get past. Car 31 has a penalty lap 3 times for an unsafe release. Disaster for Lachlan Robinson. An unsafe release from the pit stop. 3 visits to the penalty box. That is going to relegate them down to certainly out of the top 10, potentially out of the top 15. So Emil Heyerdahl is about to inherit 2nd place. Roman Felder-Feldeg is about to inherit 3rd place. Heyerdahl needs 1 more position to get to the lead of the race. Needs to hope that JMO Hertling, who's in 5th place at the moment, runs into trouble to try and take this championship. But time is starting to run out on the 2025 championship for ADAC GT4 Germany. 5 minutes remaining. Right, there's the first one that's been taken. That is really going to hurt. We got 3 abreast coming into the hairpin further down. Berke Besler's one of those. There is Alex Connor kicking up a bit of dirt on the outside line into that hairpin. There is the 23 car, Joseph Ellerine, taking his penalty as well. We've got a track limit warning for 2nd place, Emil Heyerdahl. So Heyerdahl, at least he will be in 2nd place once all the penalties have been taken. Heyerdahl is receiving a warning as well for track limit. So the track limit warnings are coming thick and fast. Important for Henrik still to keep it between the white lines. There is 2nd place Emil Heyerdahl, who's had that final warning. Not final warning, he's just had a track limit warning. But if it happens again, there may well be a final warning coming in. So with the pit window closed, with just 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining of this season, it is Henrik Still who leads the way. Emil Heyerdahl in 2nd place, then Roman Felder-Feldeg, Lachlan Robinson, but he's still got penalties to serve. Then JMO Hertling on the eve of a championship, and there is the 21 that has been shown, and it's a black and white flag for 21. That will be for track limits. There may well be a penalty coming for Berke Besler. Nothing being confirmed yet, so hopefully he's all okay. But what an absolute shame for Lachlan Robinson. An unsafe release from the pits. Clearly, the race directors and the stewards were not happy with the way that that car was released from the pit box. That's allowed Henrik Still to clear off up the road in the lead of this race. He's nearly 5 seconds clear of Emil Heyerdahl. So the thin chance, any chance at all, of taking this championship now disappearing, because there's only 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining as the 31 car peels off once again for another penalty lap. Another 5 seconds added on to the lap time. More cars come streaming past. But Emil Heyerdahl in that 2nd place, trying to take the challenge to the front. But it looks like Henrik Still has this under control. 2 3/4 minutes remaining of this season. The 7th season of ADAC GT4 Germany. Hendrik still leads the way. Another penalty lap for track limits, this time going to Philip Viskersen in car 66. The black and white flags are popping up on the screen so quickly I can't see them all, but none affecting the leading cars at the moment. So all safe. 2 minutes and 20 seconds of this season remaining. Jamo Hertling in the fourth place, very much on the eve of a championship now for himself and Enrico Ferderer. Out to turn 17 once again. Second place, Emil Heyerdahl, 4.684 seconds back the last time across the line from the race leader. Then it's Roman Velderveldeg, along with Hugo Sasser, who are 2.144 seconds back. Then it's Jamo Hertling, along with Enrico Ferderer, who are on the eve of taking their championship. 1 minute and 3/4 plus 1 lap remaining. Any chance of a podium for car 31 looks to be gone, but their sister car that started on pole position has led every lap of the race, with the exception of the pit stop sequence, currently clear at the front. The 92 car in the background of Emil Heyerdahl, trying to close in for all they're worth. They won that race yesterday, but not able to do anything about it today. Tommy Gore, who just had the penalty lap that was awarded earlier because of the short pit stop, is in 7th place. So not lost too much ground, but certainly taken him out of contention for a podium position. Jamo Hertling now up behind Roman Velderveldeg. Hertling fancies getting on the podium for the very last time this season. Fancies getting on the podium to really nail it and cement it as the brand new champions in ADAC GT4 Germany. 45 seconds on the clock. Our race leaders up at turn 15 and 16 at the moment. If he reaches the line before the clock strikes 0, it will be 2 laps remaining. Look at that traffic jam behind Lachlan Robinson. There's Jan-Philipp Springhoff in there. Tommy Rackle is there as well. Also, Alex Connor also getting stuck in. There's Niels Tröger in the number 22 car. Those two cars making contact. The number 8 car and the 66 car, Philip Viskersen. He's on that slippery surface and maybe he's got damage. There's only 8 seconds of timed racing remaining. Our race leader has already crossed the line, so it'll be what remains of this lap and one more. But this was Alex Connor getting together with the 66 car of Philip Viskersen, the BMW bumping up onto 2 wheels and damage clearly, bringing a premature end to the race for Philip Viskersen. Such a shame, along with Tim Reiter. And you can see it looks like they're a tyre down at the front as well. But the clock is at 0. Our race leader has just come out of the hairpin, so he's got what remains of this lap, then one more. Tommy Gore and Jamo Hertling are fighting over 4th place. Hertling, at the moment, in that 4th place. In fact, no, it's Tommy Gore who's, yes it is Hertling in that 4th place, up ahead of Roman Velderveldeg, and Tommy Gore just behind, then Tommy Rackle. Berke Besler doing a good comeback into 7th place at the moment. Another final warning's been given to car 24 at the moment, Gianni van der Kratz, as our race leader is up into turn 13, the Sachs Curva, for the penultimate time this season. We look at the fight for the last of the podium positions. The orange and black Aston Martin, run by Pro Sport, currently in that 3rd place. Here comes Philip Gogolok. Now he receives the final lap board. Not Philip Gogolok, Henrik Still, along with Philip Gogolok, who receives the final lap board. Car number 8 will have 3 penalty laps that will be replaced by 15-second penalty. Alex Connor for that incident with the number 66 car. So the stewards have got involved. No issues at all for car number 1. Henrik Still and Philip Gogolok have been the pilots of the number 1 car. Emil Heyerdahl in 2nd place, but the fight for 3rd place is still on. Roman Velderveldeg fancies holding on to it. Jamo Hertling fancies getting onto the podium, but he needs to hold it all together, because if he were to get damage and not finish even at this late stage, and if somehow Heyerdahl were to get into the lead, the championship would be gone. At the moment, along the parabolica they come, Hertling to the outside, Roman Feldervelde can break nice and late into the hairpin. He'll have a tighter line out. Hertling with the momentum around the outside. He comes. It's a drag race out of turn 6 towards turn 7, which is just a kink to the right. And then it's out towards turn 8. And Hertling going to be late on the brakes, but not late enough. Great stuff. Roman Feldervelde, who learns from the coach, Hugo Sassa, holding on to that position, the final lap of the race. Meanwhile, our race leader is into turn 12, heading up towards turn 13. Second looks fairly solid, but third place very much up for grabs. There is second place, Emil Heyerdahl. Roman Feldervelde holding on for all he's worth. He needs to hold on for just 2 or 3 more corners, but J-Mo Hertling is trying to go the long way around. And the championship elect now out of the corner, squeezes into third place, out of the final corner for the final time this season. It's a win for Henrik Still and Philip Gogelok. Next across the line will come Emil Heyerdahl along with Rafael Renhofer, your brand new champions for 2025 ADAC GT4 Germany, J-Mo Hertling and Rico Federer. There's Philip Gogelok, receiving the congratulations from the team. Did exactly what they set out to do. But there is your new champion, car number 11. So the win and a third place for Federer and J-Mo Hertling. That's a very good points haul. Rafael Renhofer, Emil Heyerdahl get the points for second place. Berke Besler came home in 7th, so the points there. Gogelok and Still coming home at the top of course, so maximum points there for them. Lachlan Robertson, Oscar Christensen turned out to be a bit of a disaster at the end. Picked it all up, so 8th place. Could have been a lot worse actually. I thought they were going to be out of the top 10. It means that the champions are Enrico Federer and J-Mo Hertling, but because of that penalty at the end, Rafael Renhofer and Emil Heyerdahl hold on to second place in the points standings, just ahead of Philip Gogelok and Henrik Still. So Gogelok and Still get into third place in the championship. Gabriella Piana and Berke Besler, who came into this weekend as challengers for the championship, finish up in 4th place in the overall championship. And that concludes the season for ADAC GT4 Germany. And what a season it has been. Subject to confirmation, here is your classification. Henrik Still and Philip Gogelok lead Emil Heyerdahl and Rafael Renhofer, J-Mo Hertling and Enrico Federer. That's your 1, 2, 3. Roman Feldervelde ahead of Hugo Sassa, ahead of Tommy Gore and Alon Gabay after that penalty. They are 5th ahead of Tommy Rackle, Linus Hana, Berke Besler and Gabriella Piana are next. Oh, it's been a long day, hasn't it? Then Lachlan Robinson, Oscar Christensen, then Jan Philip Springop and Storm Gjerdrum, and there Niels Trugger, Andreas Jochumsen, and those are the remaining runners and riders for this race 12 of a 12-race season for ADAC GT4 Germany. A number of non-finishes there. The significant one being Max Rosam, Denny Byrne, as a result of that big accident. But pleased to report that everybody is well. There's more than can be said for the car, but the good bit is cars can be rebuilt, and that's what's important, isn't it? As we look at some replays of Henrik Still and Philip Gogelok, they always look so jubilant whenever they win a race. And Henrik Still knows that the camera's on. Is he pointing at Philip Gogelok or is he pointing at us? Oh, well, we're doing the same hand gesture back at you, Henrik. Hearts all around, waving the door, fist out as well. First place, number 1 in number 1. Didn't quite make it to the championship. Came close. Oh, here we go. As is customary for the season closer, here come the donuts. Brilliant stuff. Very entertaining. Really good from Henrik Still and Philip Gogelok. Henrik Still, who, this is his 60th race in GT4 Germany, has had 5 wins now, including this one. He's had a couple of pole positions as well. Does that in front of the South Bend stand. Hand out the door, acknowledging the people watching on. And we'll head now into the pit lane to be greeted by Philip Gogolok, who will be beaming, I should think. They did everything right in this race. And a good job, once again, to remind you, Emil Heyerdahl and Raphael Renhofer were carrying success ballast, an additional 15 kilograms as a result of their win yesterday. But this is the headline. Car number 11, Enrico Förderer and JMO Hertling, are the brand new champions of ADAC GT4 Germany. On the first time of asking these two drivers who have looked like championship contenders from the moment they set wheel on the track, all the way back in April at Oschersleben. They won on debut. They got back-to-back wins that weekend, and then they got back-to-back weekends, back-to-back wins the following weekend. But those are the winners today: Hendrik Still and Philip Gogolok. Toby Shimon, the face of Fan TV, tries to get an interview, but I should think the emotions are probably quite high. The tension coming into this race, they were well ahead in the point standings, but it only needed a DNF, only needed a problem, and it would have all gone south, as Hendrik Still receives lots of congratulations as well. So the tension and the pressure on Enrico Förderer and JMO Hertling would have been intense. I should think the sleep would have been a bit restless leading into this race today. But they got the job done and ended up as the championship leaders by 20 points ahead of Raphael Renhofer and Emil Heyerdahl. So I think we might have been awarding half championship points here as a result of the shortened race, which is why the points are slightly different from what I was saying. No surprises there. So you can see the final standings. Well, there's no doubt about the winners, but with that shortened race, I think we might have had some half points awarded. I haven't got the rule book in front of me. You can see what the emotions are like here. But the message is still the same. It is Enrico Förderer, JMO Hertling ahead of Raphael Renhofer and Emil Heyerdahl in the Drivers' Championship. And I do believe that the Team Championship would have been wrapped up by ADAC Motorsport as well. The rookie ranking had already gone to Cedric Fuchs. The Pro-Am champion was already going to be Damon Sazishin and Lawrence Ruhl. The junior champion wrapped up Enrico Förderer and JMO Hertling. But the big one, the Drivers' Championship, going the way of these two drivers. So at the moment, they're receiving the congratulations, but in the fading light here at the Hockenheimring, shortly they're going to make their way up onto the podium. So a much needed drink of water. We're all going to need one of those after what has been a fairly lengthy session. Of course, the car prepared by SR Motorsport by Schnitzelam Racing. And the t-shirts have been printed already. Thomas Angera's team. Thomas, who was apt at apt racing until 2004, returned for the first time since 2002. The driver coach, Marcel Marchevitz, a name familiar to those who follow ADAC GT4 Germany. They're a young driver academy at Schnitzerland Racing. The cars are sometimes prepared by the drivers themselves, all about getting the experience, getting them involved. Schnitzerland Racing will have 9 permanent employees plus freelancers, look after 11 cars. Their ultimate aim is to get into the DTM. And who knows, one of these two, maybe even both of them, may appear in the DTM at some point in the future. They will get funding next year to take part in the ADAC GT Masters. And then on the road to DTM, if they can win that, we'll get funding to go into the DTM Championship. Arguably the toughest GT3 championship in the world, the creme de la creme of GT3 racers. So, Toby Shimon makes the announcement, and he calls out the third place finishers first, J-Mo Hertling and Enrico Ferderer. So the third step of the podium. Emil Hardal and Raphael Renhofer, yesterday's winners, go to the second step of the podium. They gave it everything to try and take the championship down to the wire, but it wasn't to be. The headline today, Philip Gogolok and Hendrik Still win the race. J-Mo Hertling and Enrico Ferderer win the championship. Avia WNS Motorsports, it's a family affair as they come up to receive the team trophy. Damon Sazishin and Lawrence Wool take the trophy as the Pro-Am finishers. Damon, who travels all the way from Canada to be here, also gets to stand on the podium. A third win of this 2025 season for that duo. And their trophies presented for the race win. Emil Hardal, Raphael Renhofer, Dr. Claudius Liebfritz presents the second place trophies. And Tim Kamrad, that was the name of the person who was performing last night. I'm so sorry, Tim. I need to brush up on German music scene. Presenting the trophies to third place, J-Mo Hertling and Enrico Ferderer. They're trophies that they will treasure, but not as much as the ones they're going to get next. But before that, the team champion, the team winners and the team champions. Dr. Hilmar Siebert, Vice President ADAC, presents that trophy. And the Pro-Am trophy presented to Lawrence Ruhl and Damon Sazishin. So that's the first round of trophies done and dusted. We hold them aloft here at the Hockenheimring. The final race of the final event of the season. One that had a little bit of everything in it. High drama indeed. The champagne fight starts to celebrate the winners of race 12 of this race 12 season. And we'll quickly mop the stage up, because we've got bigger trophies to present. So you can see podium nice and high up here at the Hockenheimring. Great view for everybody. Looks like René Rast's car being moved aside. Quick shout out to him, who's announced his retirement from the DTM this weekend. Another legend. I hope he'll be back one day. And we just have a quick mop up and have another look at the donuts. We all love the donuts at turn 17. That's that slippery drag strip where there is no traction. You can really hurl the car around there. We've had donuts galore today. You can tell by the circles on the track that were there before we'd even started. Henrik Still and Philip Gogelok. The well-earned donuts being performed by Henrik Still. That's the plus for being doing the driver, doing the second stint on the Sunday. Right, so our brand new champions, the team with the trophies. Oh, this is the oh, we're coming back up for the junior awards being given. So we're doing that first. Philip Gogelok, who is the winning junior driver. Roman Veldeveldegg, who is the winning rookie driver. So lots of national anthems, lots of podiums. A real end of term feeling here at the Hockenheimring. Philip Gogelok, he must have a room full of those trophies by now, I should think. Another one for Emil Hardau, Rafael Renhofer. What a great combination they have been. Another one for J-Mo Hertlinger and Rico Federer. They'll need a wheelbarrow to get that lot home at the end of this. And the rookie trophy to Roman Veldeveldegg. So we pose for another photo. And the champagne fight starts once again. A lot of champagne being sprayed here at the Hockenheimring this weekend. So then we wait once again for the podium to clear. So I'm thinking it might be the big one next. The championship trophy. As we just look at some of the highlights from this race. There's Philip Gogelok receiving congratulations from the team. Henrik Still holding it all together. They had everything thrown at them. Started on pole position, led the whole race. Had to put up with a red flag, completely throwing you out of your rhythm. Held it all together to bring it home to the top step of the podium. Right, that's the one they've been looking for. That is the big one. Great work with the t-shirt there. Number 11 with the 1 crossed out. Meaning number 1 in the championship. And that is the trophy that they've all been fighting for all season long. The trophy will be important. The title is everything. The title of champion of ADAC GT4 Germany.
Die ADAC GT4 Germany Saison 2025 ist damit durch und wir starten natürlich dann jetzt auch rein in die Meisterehrung. Das Ganze präsentiert von unserem Partner Rabinol und jetzt macht nochmal kräftigen Lärm.
JMO Hertling, Enrico Ferderer. This is the moment they've dreamt of. This is the moment they've been fighting for all season long. This is the moment that they are crowned the champions of ADAC GT4 Germany 2025. The team are there to greet them. The celebrations and the hugs. And now the national anthem for the final time. So the applause echoes throughout the Hockenheimring arena. And now the trophies come, the trophies to be presented. Trophies that they will remember forever. Winning a championship in a series as tough as the ADAC GT4 Germany, but now they can breathe a sigh of relief because they've done it. And the celebrations will start. Your champions for 2025, Enrico Ferderer and JMO Hertling. I do hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the ADAC GT4 Germany throughout this year. A massive thanks to everybody who's been involved in the production. The racing has been great all season long. But the headline, Enrico Ferderer, JMO Hertling are the brand new champions. They succeed Finn Zulav and Josef Knopp. They are the new names that will go onto the trophy. And they are the two drivers that are launching themselves up the ladder on the road to DTM. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed season 2025. Season 7 is done and dusted. We're ready for season 8. Keep an eye on all the websites for the dates. We'll look forward to seeing you next year as the story of ADAC GT4 Germany continues. We'll see you then. After that, and here he is. 10 seconds remaining of the season. Tommy Gore ahead of JMO. It was just by a fraction of the year.